Go. You can. Hey everyone, my name's Andy. I'm from Finding Value Finance. I'll be your host today. Today we've got Casper with us, or Uselink. We are double recording here, I think,
Maybe.
where he's going to release it on his channel or his channel, and it'll be on mine as well. So thanks for at least getting together, Casper. Appreciate you coming on here. I like talking a lot about particular sectors, getting a different opinion than just mine. So I'd like to talk about uranium.
Me too.
And what I want to talk about in particular is this the breakout? Because I'm looking at the Sprott Physical Uranium Trust. It looks like we're breaking out. Obviously, I'm sure we're going to have to hold above these levels, but is this where things start to go, what we call it, into the fly zone? Or are we ready to fly here? Do you think we still have a little bit more time? Obviously no one knows with 100% certainty, but what are you seeing with the Sprott Physical Uranium Trust? What are your opinions around it?
Yeah, I think last time we talked, that's like 6 weeks ago. It also looked very well, but still here today we haven't broken out. But from what I can see, we are way closer now than we were 6 weeks ago. And I also think when we go through the charts here in a short period of time, that people can see how close we really are to get this energy bull market have its third leg up, in my view. So yeah, it looks way better than 6 weeks ago. But still, we need the final nudge to get things going.
So for the Sprott Physical Uranium Trust, where do you think that breakout point is? Like where exactly? Because I've got my kind of line in the sand drawn in the lower 18 level, like 1815, lower 18s. What are you seeing in that chart, and where's the breakout level there? Just curious.
Yeah, sure. Let me share the screen here really quickly. Can you
Yep.
see the screen, I guess?
Yes.
Okay, just 1 second here. I just need to see if this works. 1 second. Okay, I'm back here again. All right, this is the Sprott Physical Uranium Trust, and as you mentioned also, Andy, you had the $18 level, which was the big level to get through. I have it quite similarly. So let me show you here. This was the horizontal level that we needed to get through, and we did that last week. Closed at the exact, more or less, top of the candle. Very bullish, and also we have taken out some previous resistance levels that we needed to, not levels, but trend lines that we needed to get through. Had the red one here, which was the main, and as you can see, we had a breakout to the 18 level, retest, and resumption. So from that point of view, that's, as you know, from a technical point of view, very, very bullish. And also have an internal trend line here, or a rail, which we also have broken out again here. The first time was a fake out to the $18 level, but the retest, resumption. So this weekly candle that we just made could be the one we needed to get things really going here for the Sprott Physical Uranium Trust. No doubt about it.
Now, do we need to hold above here to make this be a valid close? Like, do we need to close the month of August above the 1815 level? Do we need to close the quarter above it? And so on and so on. Is that what's going to strengthen our case for a sustained breakout and something, like a run here?
Yeah, I think, especially the monthly always has big importance to the big institutions. A monthly close, that's where they look into where to put money and so on. But for me, a weekly close here, which we just did, above the $18 level is a big confirmation in my view. But I think for the big money, maybe we need the monthly close. But I wouldn't worry so much about it, no, from my point of view.
Here's another question that I have. We got the Sprott Physical Uranium Trust, and then we have the equities over there as well. Do you think the Sprott Physical Uranium Trust breaking out first here is going to be the leader? Or, I mean, shouldn't we usually see the leader in the equities? They kind of pile into the equities, then they drive the physical price up, and then the equities go ballistic. Like how what do you think is going to break first, or is this a signal that the equities will for surely follow with the Sprott Physical Uranium Trust breaking out? Kind of what's your opinions around Sprott Physical Uranium Trust and then the ETFs and stuff like that?
Yeah, it's a good question. And I think if we take a look at the URNM, which is the 100% pure play uranium ETF, um, from my point of view, we are very, very close to the breakout, as you can see here. And I think if the breakout for the Sprott Physical Uranium Trust really has some legs to it, I think this will follow with a lag of like a week or two. As you can see here, we are having a, let's call it a fifth go here at this long-term trend line. And again, if this breakout for the Sprott Physical Uranium Trust really is what we think it is, then this will follow, in my view. I can't see it going any other where for the URNM. And when we get to look at the
So,
at the miners later on, I guess you can see why it looks, many of them looks absolutely fantastic. So they are ready, I guess.
so as an investor, what I usually like to do is I like to look at something in the sector that's already breaking out. Then I go and I buy all the lagging kind of companies or equities or whatever. We're seeing Cameco break to the upside. We're starting to see these ETFs. Like if you were to look at URA, I know we've got URNM here.
Mm.
I know URA looks like that's broken to the upside
Yeah,
already.
yeah.
Are those signals that mean that we should be piling into these sectors, or should we be waiting for confirmations of breakouts across these trend lines?
Yeah, I mean, I will wait personally to get the real signal is the URNM for me, because that's the 100% pure play. So when we get a weekly close above this trend line and the $35 level, which I'm looking at right here, you can see it. You can see how many times we have been pushed back every single time we get to the 35. So when we get a weekly close above here, that's my signal to and the confirmation for the next leg up for the uranium miners. And at that point, you should see also the individual miners do the exact same thing, breaking out of their long-term trend lines resistance. So, and I think right now we are at 34.5, more or less. So like 2% away from the breakout.
Okay. And what's your take on URNM versus URNJ? Um, I mean, I know URNJ doesn't have a bunch of data in terms of like chart time frame length, but
No, but still, even though we
what's
only
your
have
take on
like,
URNM versus URNJ?
I think they are, I haven't seen how much they weighted into the individual miners and so on, but I think they look quite the same in the short term. We are just very close to the breakout here from the IPO. Then we have a high here, and then we have the grinding here. You can see the grinding just waiting to break out. So URNM and URNJ, for what from the data we have here, is very similar. I guess when we get going, depending on what stocks the URNJ has into that portfolio, it can run higher because I know it's it's the juniors, so they might run more compared to the chemicals and energy fuels and so on. But but looking at this one, they are quite similar right now in my view.
And I know, like Cameco generally leads the sector. It's one of the largest companies. A lot of the, we'll call it larger investors, institutional
Yeah.
investors, they'll position first in Cameco, and then generally the juniors lag behind it. What's your take on Cameco, and what do the charts look like with Cameco there? Are you seeing a distinct breakout? Do you see any, like what's your opinions there on this chart?
Yeah, I mean, looking at Cameco, this is more or less the only, there might be a few others, but the only uranium miner that has been doing very well for the past 2 years compared to others, right? You can see the charts here. It's absolutely just one-way street. And we came into these highs up here at around, what is it, 44, excuse me. And now we're breaking out and doing maybe some sort of retest here. So Cameco is still looking absolutely fine on all parameters. But given, as you say, it has been gaining roughly 100% compared to the others that's maybe down 50, 60, 70%. So this is the blue chip, and often the blue chip leads, and then the more not speculative money, but the retail guys and so on will go into the smaller ones for the bigger move. But I think I read somewhere that Kathy Woods has been buying 2 or 3 times the Cameco chart here, stock here in the past 2 weeks. I don't know if that's a good signal or bad, but anyways, I mean the big guys are buying the Camecos because it has liquidity and so on for them to play.
Yeah. Now I'm gonna. So that looks good. It looks like it wants to break out. I almost say that it looks like the Sprott Physical Uranium Trust because I
Yeah,
think the
yeah.
trust had a couple of hits, came back down, and it's starting to break out. Almost looks the same as Camco to some degree. Um, here's another kind of out of left field question. What's your opinions and take around global atomic?
Oh,
I know there's a lot of
um,
people talking about it. There's a lot of fear in the market, specifically around global atomic. And I know it's a stronger company, in my opinion, that of the
mhm.
juniors, kind of the developers. And here recently with the coup in Niger and all that, I mean, it seems like we're getting a lot of panic in global atomic. And I don't see that in Goviax, which is
Exactly.
another Niger company. So it's like, is this just contained to global? Is this a buying opportunity? Are we just gonna, rocket ship down to the floor? What's your opinions on this? And if you don't have any, that's fine too, because I know I'm kind of, I don't want to put anybody on the spot, and I know this is kind of maybe a sensitive topic or whatnot, but yeah, what's your thoughts and opinions around global atomic?
I think maybe the reason for Global Atomic to get hit this bad was, I think, if you look at GoviX next here, is that the charts are it's a bit different. For some reason, I don't know, but the charts just, were more bearish on the Global Atomic point of view because you have the inverted head and shoulders into let me show you, into a minor bear flag right here. And when the news hit, the bear flag triggered, and there were a lot of shorts. Every time a bear flags get hit, triggered to the downside, people will short it heavily, just like it does when a bull flag to the upside. They will buy into it. So I think the charts were a bit different, and I don't know if we have hit the measured move already, but I think we can do some
It's
projections here.
close.
Yeah, I think we have
Tell me it
overshot a
is.
bit. Yeah, we have overshot a bit here, but still, that's you see that often in a panic mode. I would say. Um, So yeah, Global Atomic definitely got hit quite a bit. But I mean, it's dangerous to catch a falling knife, but still you are into some sort of support. Um, Over here, you have the support which we are at right now. If I delete the measured move, you can see. But still, in my view, just wait for some sort of reversal, some sort of buying getting into the to this stock right here. I mean, looking at the candles only, you can see we have a big gap down, and then we have big red candles, and the candles are getting smaller, so that's a positive thing. But still, it's it's not the best looking chart to say the least. And also, I had a trend line here, which I actually thought would hold. You can see it here. You have the lows here, and then I thought this one could actually be a hold at around 1.9, 1.8, and it just sliced right through like butter. So that was quite interesting to me when it did that. But yeah, Global Atomic really looks it looks really bad. But again, that's also when you want to look to buy if you believe in the company and the conflict that they have right now, it will get resolved. Then these are the buying opportunities you need to do. You need to step in front of the train and then press the buying button, even though it hurts you to the bone. I mean, that's when you want to do it. When it looks the ugliest, that's when you want to long-term buy. Uh, but you need to be able to sit through some pain before you get the reward, I guess. But still,
Yeah, the one comment I'll make is a lot of people say, "Oh, I'll just wait and see and make sure everything's okay." The problem is when you wait for everything to be okay and everyone else figures out that it's okay, that's when everybody buys it up and it's already in
oh,
mid stride coming back to the upside.
exactly, yeah. So
Um, yeah, you're always gonna have to buy. You almost have to buy when the fear is. It's not maximum fear, but the fear is max, and then it starts to come on up, even though the price might be coming down, but it's slowing down to
Yeah,
some
exactly.
point. And then hopefully, I mean, because we've got positive signals with the Sprott Physical Uranium Trust. That looks like it's breaking out. We've got Cameco breaking to the upside. We've got URNM that looks like it wants to break to the upside. I mean, is this an opportunity based off of the fear of Niger, or do you think that it's possible that Global Atomic could potentially miss out on the move to the upside with the other uranium miners moving up and Global kind of missing that move? Like, what are your thoughts around that?
I think if we switch to the GoVX, then I can maybe give you an answer. Because you see, GoVX 2 weeks ago had a big week, weekly candle, but the prior week here was actually quite nice. A green candle at the bottom of a uh, of a long-term bullish pennant here, also into support or the gap fill here. So GoVX is showing some sign of life, and I guess they are in the same situation. So to me, if we break out for URNM and so on, I think the the tide will lift all boats. Maybe Global Atomic will be a huge laggard before, but still, it's um it's yeah, it's always difficult to say, but still, it should recover, maybe not drop, just holding a base before it gets resolved, but still, it's yeah, it should lift all boats, let's say. You can see that. I know it's a different topic, but still, XRP was also in the same situation with the SEC and some sort of court case. And even though it got hit heavily, it still bounced quite nicely when Bitcoin moved up as well, even though it still had the case, over its head. So yeah, similar thing, different sector, but still, yeah, a bull market should lift all boats. Some more, some less, of course, but still, yeah.
Do you think that Global Atomic could do like a V bottom, like this is like almost like a false breakout to the downside? Because I mean, we've got all that selling pressure coming down. You think this could be like a slingshot? Things get resolved in Niger because I don't see Goviax really having the same response as Global. Because
Oh,
Goviax, I mean, if it was that bad and it wasn't contained, like let's say, I would think that all of these companies that are in Niger, they would just basically beeline lower. But it seems like, and this is just my opinion, and it's okay if you don't have an opinion or whatever,
mm,
that Global has been kind of, I know there's a lot of retail investors in Global. Global's been one of the stronger companies that a lot of people have been investing in.
yeah.
It seems like a lot of fear focused on Global and not so much on Goviax. And they're in the similar locations. Do you think this is just overblown and this could be one big false breakout that it just slingshots to the other side? Or do you think this is going to be something where it's going to take some time to resolve? It's going to have to base out and kind of work its way across?
I I think it totally depends on how the things get resolved in Nigeria. I think if we get it resolved, let's say tomorrow they say that whatever, then it will V-shape very quickly. But again, I think this is a longer process where we maybe need to base out, maybe grind higher a bit together with the overall uranium market. But still, I think that's the most likely scenario to have it all settled down. Have things get in order, and then it when the fear is all not over, but still when the panic is over, then the buying should come in together with the overall uranium market, which is hopefully in the next leg up at that point in time. So it depends, I think. But again, it's difficult to project or to say.
I, I know it's really difficult because a lot of people ask questions about this one, and I'm trying to get obviously more than just my opinion because I don't know what camp I fall under. I think if they can resolve something, I think people are going to FOMO back in, and
Yeah,
this could be like a false breakout and it just launches. But on the other hand, if things don't resolve, what are the risks of buying it down here and things don't resolve? Then you're stuck with a dud, so to speak.
mm.
Would that be a fair statement?
Yeah. I think I think more or less all uranium miners need financing at some point, and so does Global Atomic, I think. I would assume, anyways. And I don't think they can get the big financing if we have this conflict. So I think that's the one big risk, lack of financing in the future to get the mines up and running and so on. So yeah, I just for the bear case, I added the support down here at around 0.8, which we also can go down and hit. That's not out of the question at all, out of the equation, excuse me. So yeah, there can easily be a lot more downside. Again, in these situations, it's very tough to predict where the bottom is.
Yeah, and buying with this much momentum can be dangerous sometimes.
Yeah, it can.
But catching the falling knife sometimes cuts right through your hands, so to
Yeah,
speak.
yeah,
But we are seeing, if you go into the shorter term time frame, we are seeing a slowdown in the descent of that, and it looks like it's trying to at least gain some sort of support there, but it may not hold. It's just, yeah.
yeah. Yeah, I think if everything gets resolved as we spoke about, then it will V-shape. But if not, I think you will see some sort of reversal pattern on the maybe the 4-hourly or the 1-hourly time frames that will confirm the bottom. But that's like a week or 2 or 3 ahead if that's the case.
Mhm.
So yeah, just have patience, I guess, depending on how you want to play it. You can catch the falling knife, or you can try to look for the reversal on shorter time frames.
What about a cost averaging in strategy where you buy a little bit and then wait, like 10% or something, and then you wait, watch how it kind of plays out. And if you start getting a pattern, you can scale in a little bit more and then punch it when the pattern starts to break to the upside. Is that a fair way to play it, or how would you play this? Or just wait?
Personally, I just wait for the shorter term bottom to be set in place and to be confirmed. That's my that's how I play things most of the time. Wait for the signals to
Mhm.
get through. But dollar cost averaging can work very well, but you need to have your levels in place. For example, depending on how you want to play it, you need to have the levels in or the Fibonacci levels, depending on what strategy you use, and then just follow that and maybe have 3 batches you buy or 4, depending. Yeah, again, and then you can do it in that way. But still, my personal preference is always to get the signals from a technical point of view, reversal patterns and so on. That's mostly
Yeah.
what I do in a situation like this. That's how I do it.
And what
So
about like what about like a uranium to stock ratio or uranium to a futures price ratio or something like that? Those are also good to look at, and I
yeah,
see they're over there. So
let's look at the ratios. They are always
yeah,
fun to look at. This is the URA. I could have taken the URNM, but let's take the URA. I mean, it's fine. I haven't got the
well,
other one here. Still, you can see we are um, in a somewhat bullish setup. Still, we have some trend lines that are broken that we're trying to regain. But still, um, when and if the uranium bull market really starts to regain its next leg up, which I think will happen, that's also it gets extra fuel when you get a breakout in relation to the SPY, the SP 500, because that's when again the bigger money sees that we have the URA that's outperforming the SPY. We need to reallocate or reinvest some money into the URA. And still, we are still waiting for a breakout, and uh, we are lower or further away, let's say, compared to the URNM, but still we are 10% away from a possible breakout that I think will happen for sure, because I think energies right now uh, looks way better compared to the overall stock market again, even though the Nasdaq and the SP 500 has been outperforming for the past half a year or so. I think we are seeing the rotation as we speak here.
what about it compared to yeah, the futures pricing?
Yeah, yeah. I think we can take the URA again. Again, it's slightly different if you're looking at the URNM because it's only or the URA because it's you have some other companies in, but this is the URA divided by the uranium spot price. We have been looking at this one many times on the show, and you can clearly see what we're waiting for. We have the squeeze here or the pennant, which again, when we break out above this long-term trend line, that's also when you see the breakout on URNM, URA, and the miners. And the level to watch for, I think, is, let me put in a horizontal level. It's roughly 0.405. Excuse me. So a weekly close above this level confirms the breakout, confirms the horizontal level, and that should seal the deal in my view. Also, the reason why this level is important is you have this inverted head and shoulders right here. If you go to the daily, you can see it more clearly with more detail, but here it is more or less. So this is the information that I'm looking at in this ratio, and as you can see, we are bullfighting on a smaller time frame. So the pressure seems to go to the upside again here. But we have been saying that for a while, but still, it looks good. It really does.
So we're ready to put everything we own in it.
Do a Michael Saylor like Bitcoin? No, you shouldn't have.
Yeah. Oh man, Michael Saylor it.
I mean, he's yeah, that statement wasn't the best, but it is what it is. But no, I mean, that's I mean, I think, especially uranium, there is also, precious metals and so on, but we're not going to talk about that. But I think uranium will be the one where you really can boost your net worth in the next 5, 8 years, 2 years, whatever your time frame is. But in this decade, at least, I think that's one of the places where you really can get a leap forward. And I think in this day and age, I think that's a very important thing to do. Otherwise, you will get crushed by inflation. I mean, that it will just kill you for this decade. So yeah, I've been saying many times that uranium is my best play and what I think will be the best performer or one of the best performers for this decade all over. Again, if you zoom out, you can clearly see, well, not clearly, but you can see the long-term trend, which is also in motion. Again, a bigger inverted head and shoulders right here. And we have been talking about this before, so we don't have to do the measurements, but still, this to me shows that the uranium miners is at the pivot or the very early stages of a massive bull market. And what we have seen in 2020 and the move into 2021 was just the first leg up, and we have 2 big legs to go.
Let's rip this thing. Why is it taking so long?
Yeah, exactly. I think why it's taking so long is, the bigger money goes where the momentum is, and clearly, AI and also the tech sector, Apple, Nvidia, and all those big names has been performing very well. We have to admit that, and that's where the momentum is. So when this breaks, you will get the momentum players back into energy, and they will leave the tech sector, or at least not put as much into the tech sector at that point, because they are looking at the exact same things that we're looking at right here. So they're just waiting. They're not investors. They're just purely traders, So they will get in when the momentum is in favor of any kind of sector or any ratio. They will pile back into it. So
what's the upside projection on that against uranium itself? It looks like it goes up quite a bit at the other bull market almost.
yeah, it can. I think if you do just a standard here, I think you will get to the highest, So it makes total sense to get back to that kind of valuation, miners against the spot price. Makes total sense to do that.
That's like a 5x or something like that.
Yeah, 5x. And remember, that's against the spot price. So if the spot price stands still, which it won't, but if it does, then the URA will outperform 5 times. But we've talked about this before, but I think, the spot price can easily go into the 100s. So then you can start to do the math there. So then you have 5 times 2, right? So a 10x. But it's crazy numbers. But I think the uranium bull case is way better compared to 2011.
Oh yeah,
way better.
totally.
So the fundamentals are just 10 times better. So even though it doesn't look at it right now, I think this will be the path, into the next decade. So it's a long-term hold. You can also trade it, but still, uranium to me, it's a no-brainer all over.
I mean, you only live once, so
Exactly. It's like I always say it's like having pocket aces, right? You win 80% of the time pre-flop, but still when you have pocket aces, you need to push as much into the middle as you can afford. Uh, and still expect to lose 20% of the time. So
okay. Well, that's all I've got for questions. Do you have anything else that you'd like to share with the uranium sector?
maybe I can just show you the XLE against the SPX, what happened
Okay.
this week or the past week. We had a nice breakout here of a bull flag into this long-term golden support all the way up here. Again, it looks like the XLE, the energy sector, which is mostly oil and gas, I know, but if the energy sector breaks out, uranium, of course, will follow because that's the same sector. And just look at this candle right here. I mean, what's not to like? Of course, we have the 30 weekly coming down, but still, um, this is a breakout. Uh, so, so yeah, energies looks like it wants to outperform the SPX. It still has some work to do against the Nasdaq, um, but that should follow in the weeks to come. So energies looks nice, and
We got my kids. There's a like a tornado warning or something. They're like, a tornado's coming.
oh, really? Okay.
So yeah, that looks really good though.
Yeah,
In terms of so yeah. So would you say everything's kind of in alignment right now for things to break out and get moving to the upside then, even with energy going up like that?
yeah, I think it again. We talked about it last time, and people will maybe say, "Oh, you said the same thing last time." But again, last time it looked good. Now it looks better. It just takes time to get the rotation in. Um, but yeah, overall, um, you can clearly see the. Let me show you, for example, this is FUU. Just look at the chart here. Not going into any detail. Breakout, bull flag, retesting. It all looks good. You can do mega uranium. Look at the breakout we're having here for mega uranium. Again, it looks fantastic. We have find here in a big squeeze, again, waiting to break out to the upside. EU, Encore Energy, breakout, retest, resumption into a inverted head and shoulders. Elevate, again, you can see the bull flag here or the bull pennant, just waiting to go higher. So overall, uranium is ready to pop here. We just need the last bit of push in the right direction, and then it should be all good. Again, Paladin Energy in a massive bull flag here for the past 2 years. I mean, what's not to like? It looks ready, but it needs time to mature, and it will probably break to the upside when people don't expect it. Then we'll have 2 or 3 days, 5% boom boom, and then we are away. But yeah,
I agree. Well, that's all I've got. You have anything else?
no, nothing to say that
It's gonna
uranium. I
rip.
mean, I love uranium, and it sure looks good.
Yeah, it's got the setup. Is there anything? Could it look any better, really?
Yeah, we can have a breakout, but then we can talk about that next
Yeah,
time. When we have the breakout, you can
yeah.
have we can get back on together and celebrate. But still, when it breaks out, the URNM specifically, then it looks fantastic. Absolutely, absolutely it does. So yeah, I don't think I have much more to say. It looks amazing.
Looks like I got to roll. Looks like we got a tornado coming or something.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah. Okay. We'll end it there, and we'll post this up. But we're towards the end anyway.
Hmm.
So
Perfect,
I'm gonna
perfect.
have to go outside and see what this thing looks like. They keep screaming at me that there's some tornado coming. So
Sure.
and that it's like 30 seconds away. They said. So
Okay,
we'll see.
okay. Good. Okay, Andy. Stay safe, and yeah,
All right.
we'll talk later.
Yep. See you, everybody. Catch
Sure.
you later. Yep. Bye.
Bye, guys.
I guess I got to roll.
Yeah, sure. No
So
problem. We'll talk to
I'll
you
catch you
later.
later.
Yeah, bye.
Okay, bye.